Today I'm going to show you how to create an incredible 3D Pixar style animated story from scratch using AI. I've been testing this workflow for the past few weeks and I'm genuinely blown away by what's possible now. You don't need any animation skills, 3D knowledge, or expensive software. All you need is a story idea and the right AI tools. Let me show you what's possible. Take a look at this animation I just created.
In a world where machines outnumbered life, Spark, a small, curious robot, wandered alone. Even in the darkest times, hope can bloom again.
Pretty incredible, right? And I made this entire thing in just a few hours using the workflow I'm about to show you. Now, I know what you're thinking, this must be super complicated or expensive, but trust me, it's actually quite simple once you know the exact steps to follow, and that's exactly what I'm going to walk you through today. The first step is to create a script for your animated story. For this, I'm using ChatGPT, but you can use any AI writing assistant you prefer. I'll start by giving ChatGPT a simple prompt. Write a 30-second script for a Pixar-style animated short about a robot named Spark who discovers a flower growing in a post-apocalyptic world. Now, what's important here is to be specific about the style, length, and main story elements you want. I found that giving ChatGPT these clear parameters helps it generate much better scripts. So ChatGPT has given us a script about a rusty robot named Spark, who discovers a tiny colorful flower in a desolate landscape, the only color in this gray world. His eyes brighten as he carefully cups his hands around the plant, and he begins creating a protective garden around it. This is perfect, it's short, emotional, and has that classic Pixar feel to it with a clear beginning, middle, and end. Now that we have our script, we need to create our main character, Spark. For this, I'll be using OpenArt's consistent character feature, which is absolutely game-changing. If you want to follow along, I'll leave a link for it in the description below. Now go to OpenArt and click on Storytelling in the top menu. You'll find the Consistent Character option. There are 3 ways to create a character. Start with a description, start with 1 image, or start with 4+ images. For this tutorial, I'll use the description method since we're creating a character from scratch. I'll click on Start with Description and write a detailed description of Spark, a small rusty robot with a rounded body and expressive blue eyes. He has articulated metal arms with delicate finger-like appendages for precision work. His body shows signs of wear, but has charming details like small antennae on his head and treads instead of feet. He has a Pixar-style design with slightly exaggerated proportions that make him look endearing and childlike despite being made of metal. I'll also select 3D animation as the style to get that Pixar look. Now I'll click Create Previews and OpenArt will generate several options for what Spark could look like. This is one of my favorite parts of the process because you get to see your character come to life for the first time. OpenArt gives you 3 different interpretations of your character and you can choose the one that best matches your vision. I really like this version here, so I'll select it and click Create Character. OpenArt is now training a consistent character model specifically for Spark. This usually takes about 5 to 10 minutes, so I'll come back when it's done. By the way, I've actually made a full course on consistent characters using OpenArt. If you want to check it out, I've left a link in the description below. It covers everything from creating characters from multiple references to advanced posing techniques. Alright, our character is ready. Now we can use Spark in any scene we want, and he'll always look consistent. This is what makes OpenArt so powerful. Once you've created your character, you can place them in any environment, any pose, any lighting condition, and they'll still look like the same character. If you've ever tried to create consistent characters with other AI tools, you know how frustrating it can be when your character looks completely different in every generation. OpenArt solves this problem completely. Now let's create the key scenes for our animation. I'll go to Create with Character and start generating images based on our script. For the first scene, I'll write Spark trudging through a desolate post-apocalyptic landscape, gray terrain, dim blue eyes, cinematic wide shot, Pixar style, 3D animation. This looks amazing. Let's create a few more scenes following our script. For the discovery scene, Spark the robot discovering a tiny purple flower in the gray landscape, his scanner beeping, close-up shot of his surprised expression, Pixar style, 3D animation. For the emotional moment, Spark the robot gently holding a tiny purple flower, his eyes glowing bright teal instead of blue, emotional moment, soft lighting, Pixar style, 3D animation. Finally, for the ending, spark the robot creating a small garden around the purple flower, hopeful scene, slight sunlight breaking through clouds, Pixar style, 3D animation. These images look incredible, and most importantly, Spark looks consistent in every single one. His design, proportions, and key features remain the same across all images, which is exactly what we need for a cohesive animation. If you're not getting the exact results you want on the first try, don't worry. You can always regenerate or use OpenArt's editing tools to refine your images. I often find that adding more specific details about lighting, camera angle, and emotion in my prompts helps get better results. Now it's time to bring these static images to life. OpenArt has integrated Kling 2.0, which is one of the best AI video generation models available right now. This is where the real transformation happens, turning our still images into fully animated scenes. To animate our images, I'll click on Image to Video at the top of the interface and select our first image. So for the first scene, I'll write, camera slowly pans across the desolate landscape as Spark trudges forward. Small particles of dust float in the air. Slight movement in Spark's mechanical parts. Cinematic quality. I'll set the duration to 5 seconds and select Pro Quality. The Pro Quality option costs a bit more credits, but the difference in quality is absolutely worth it, especially for character animations where you want smooth, natural movement, and as you can see, it looks incredible. Let's do the same for our other scenes. For the discovery scene, close up on Spark, scanner light pulsing, camera slowly zooms in, gentle movement of his mechanical parts, cinematic quality. For the emotional moment, Spark looks at the flower in awe. Gentle camera movement around Spark and the flower, soft particles floating in the light, emotional moment, cinematic quality. And for the ending, camera slowly pulls back, revealing Spark creating the garden, subtle light rays breaking through clouds, gentle movement in Spark's mechanical parts, hopeful atmosphere, cinematic quality. These animations look absolutely incredible. The movement is smooth, the lighting effects are beautiful, and most importantly, Spark looks consistent throughout all of them. One tip I've learned from making dozens of these animations is to be very specific about camera movement in your prompts. Instead of just saying camera moves, specify exactly how it moves, panning, zooming, orbiting, etc. This gives the AI much clearer direction and results in more intentional cinematic animations. Now we need to add the narration from our script. For this, I'll use 11 Labs, which creates incredibly realistic AI voices. If you want to try 11 Labs yourself, I've left a link in the description below. What I love about it is how natural and emotional the voices sound. They've really nailed the human quality that many other AI voice tools are missing. I'll go to 11 Labs and select a warm, storytelling voice that fits the Pixar vibe. I think Oliver Haddington would work well for this. I'll paste in our narration lines. So I'll type, in a world where machines outnumbered life, Spark, a small curious robot, wandered alone, and even in the darkest times, hope can bloom again. Now I'll download these audio files so we can add them to our animation. The quality of the narration can make or break your animated story, so take your time finding the right voice and adjusting the tone and pacing until it feels just right. Now let's bring everything together in CapCut, which is a free video editing software that's super easy to use. I'll import all our animated clips and arrange them in the right order according to our script. Then I'll add the narration at the appropriate moments. For some finishing touches, I'll add a chill background music track that fits the emotional tone of our story, and maybe some subtle sound effects like mechanical whirring for Spark's movements and a soft ping when he discovers the flower. And here's our final result.
In a world where machines outnumbered life, Spark, a small, curious robot, wandered alone. Even in the darkest times, hope can bloom again.
This is absolutely insane. We've created a complete Pixar-style animated short with a consistent character, beautiful animation, and professional narration, all using AI tools and without any animation experience. Just a few months ago, creating something like this would have required a team of professional animators, voice actors, and editors, not to mention thousands of dollars and months of work. Now you can do it all yourself in just a few hours. If you want to try this yourself, you can use OpenArt with the link in the description below. And if you use the code ROBOV20, you'll get 20% off in your first month or year. I highly recommend giving it a try. You'll be amazed at what you can create, even if you have zero experience with animation or design. And by the way, If you want to learn the biggest mistakes people make when generating consistent characters, I've made a full video about it on my channel. Click here to watch it and take your AI character creation skills to the next level. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.